Good morning, everyone. It's Wednesday, November 19th, 2025, and we are here live. Yeah, live, 7 a.m. It's new every morning. And once again this morning, it's new again. I hope everybody's along. I hope we have some morning warriors with me. I have some interesting stories, I think, today. So hopefully we got some people along with us this morning. But you can watch this anytime throughout the day. And, you know, it is podcast number 23. Yeah, I've been doing this for 23 days, Monday through Friday. So we're just zipping right along. It's kind of a little dreary outside. I can see, good morning, Tom. I can see that the days are getting shorter because the sun is less and less bright when I start at 7 a.m. So I may have to move to 7:30 to get some brightness back. Who knows? But I gotta admit something to you. I overslept today. I slept in, not planning to do that, but that's what happened. So I had some fast moving to get ready for this morning because some days I plan some stuff in the evenings and I have some stuff ready to go because it's not really time sensitive and there's not a lot of news today, and so I have very little news this morning as far as like national time, time sensitive news. But I found some neat stories. I hope you all enjoy them. Good morning, Susan. Nice to have you. We'll see what you think about some of these stories. But I think they're kind of interesting. So anyway, we'll get started. Don't forget my live Facebook Live. Good morning, Janet. Nice to have you. My Facebook Live is going to be moving, so it'll be a YouTube Live. Probably, I'm guessing somewhere around the first of the month. So it'll be 1st of December, but I haven't got an exact date, so we'll see when that happens. I'm also going to start another YouTube channel with some help things. You'll hear more about that as we get that thing rolling, because I'm moving everything to YouTube as time goes by. I started on Facebook because, I have a lot of contacts on Facebook, and people are able to see this, and several hundred people are watching this throughout the day, and that's great. But I'm hoping to translate those people over to YouTube as time goes by. I have been posting the YouTube. Good morning, Donna. I see you made it up at 7:03 anyway. Great. I may be moving this. Very good chance I'll be moving to 7:30 as often as next week, which is Thanksgiving week. I think I'm still haven't decided, and I'm open to ideas, but I'm thinking on skipping Thanksgiving, but doing this podcast on the day after Thanksgiving, on Friday, to kind of get into the weekend a little bit. But I could do a Thanksgiving one if people think they would want that. So if you have any comments, you can private or publicly let me know what you think. All right. So my first story is a story that I'm not a big fan of. I'm think it may be finally coming to an end. Congress approved a bill yesterday to have the Justice Department release unclassified files relating to Jeffrey Epstein. Now, the Senate has agreed to pass the legislation as soon as they get it, and President Trump has already said that he will sign it. So finally, we can get all this stuff out, and this has been going on. Well, all these files were there for President Biden for 4 years, but he did not release them, and it wasn't a story. Nobody really cared. I mean, nobody said, "Oh, that's fine." But all of a sudden, it became a story when President Trump got in office. Anyway, I'm tired of the story. Release everything. There'll be a few days of going through it and sifting through it, and then we can move on with life. All right, that's my perspective. On this date in history, President Abraham Lincoln delivered the Gettysburg Address in 1863. Now, that was his biggest address. Most famous anyway, the Gettysburg Address. And it happened, after the Civil War, battle in Gettysburg. And the Union had really struggled to have any victories in that war. The South was just, beating them up pretty good. And in this war, in this particular battle at Gettysburg, the Union kind of won. It wasn't a big win, but they could consider it a win. And so he took that opportunity to do the Gettysburg Address. And as time went on, the Union kind of got more and more powerful because they had industry. You know, the South didn't have a lot of industry, so they weren't able to like remanufacture guns and equipment and things like that, whereas the Union forces were. So as time went by, I'm not doing a history lesson for you. Maybe we'll talk more about that as time goes by. So let me ask you a question. Have you ever rode in a robo-taxi? Anybody on here had a robo-taxi ride? Yeah, me neither. Well, but anyway, it is happening. Amazon began offering through a company called Zooz. I don't know if that's pronounced right, but began robo rides in the public in San Francisco yesterday. Okay, so this is coming. This is coming. It's nothing new. It's not real new anyway. Now, this company was founded in 2014, and it was acquired by Amazon for $1.3 billion in 2020. 1.3 billion. Oh boy. Now they build a boxy all-electric steering wheel free vehicles. And apparently for a robo-taxi, you get in and I don't know how you pay. I'm guessing with credit card or something. Since there's no one in there. Well, I guess there's no one in there. It doesn't say that. It just says there's no steering wheel. So for all you robo-taxi people, you can let me know if there's actually a live person there. But my guess is not, because that's one of the reasons they're doing this. So anyway, you get rides. Now, Alphabet-owned Waymo has been charging rides since 2023 in San Francisco. So they were a little bit ahead of Amazon on this. But they do things a little differently. They take their technology and install them in cars made by manufacturers like Jaguar and Chrysler. So they don't build the whole thing. They just take their technology and put in there. But of course, now the race is on for both these companies. So Waymo, which has been around since 2023, they said they're going to add highways or add places like around San Francisco, not just in town, but actually around it, and in Los Angeles and in Phoenix. So, it's working the West Coast. I don't know how well it's working. Don't know that much about it. I'm not real excited about it. First of all, I rarely ever get in a taxi, but I'm not really excited about getting in a taxi with no one else in there but me. It'd be kind of strange, but we'll see where that goes. All right. The Trump administration is in the process of dismantling the education department. And he had said when he was running for office, he was going to do this, and it's starting. The lady that is over that knew when she started, her job was to, slowly transfer out of that. And they're moving some of the departments, education department, some of their programs, they're moving them to other agencies. So it's not like everything going to disappear, but the education department as itself is going away. Now, I don't know how much you know about this, but how is America's hottest chicken chain keeping their secret sauce a secret? We've heard the word secret sauce ever since McDonald's brought out those words 30 or 40 years ago, secret sauce, secret sauce. Lots of people have tried to keep secrets about how they do things. And they do that for two reasons. One, for a competitive advantage, but also because it creates buzz around them. Okay? Now, this famous chicken company has, this is how they've done the process. They have a handwritten list that was written 30 years ago. It's the only physical copy of the recipe, and the chain, the chain keeps it in a vault, okay, at a undisclosed location, okay. There's only one copy of it. Now, who is this? I don't know if you're familiar with this company, but they're called Raising Cane Chicken Fingers. Now, I don't know if you've had that or not. If you have, let me know what you think of Raising Cane's. I have had Raising Cane's one time. It came from Ohio, but they brought it here, so obviously we had to heat it up. So we didn't have it fresh. And it was pretty good. I don't remember the sauce. I'm sorry. I may have had the sauce. A lot of times when I eat things like that, I don't even use sauce, so I don't know. But the sauce, the buzz around them is their sauce. So they basically sell chicken fingers, and they don't sell very much else, as I understand. But you can check them out, Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. Now, of course, there's copycats everywhere, and, the people are trying to do that, and, disgruntled employees have, tried to, make the sauce and, all that kind of stuff. I mean, that's the kind of thing that happens when you have a secret. Everybody's trying to figure out what it is. But they, some of the things that they do is their ingredients come in unmarked packages. So, when it comes to their restaurants, it's not marked, and only the managers actually know the mixture as far as what to mix with it, because it comes in powder form, I think. But they don't even know what the ingredients are. So it's pretty well kept quiet. Now, of course, when you have something secret, Walmart, you know how they are, or many companies in this country, but Walmart's this example. So some claim that Walmart's private labeled chicken finger dipping sauce is a match. Some people claim that it's a match. But we know better, don't we? Walmart always thinks they have a match. And so we know that's not true. So anyway, next story. Is taking a cold shower good for you? Now, some of you may be like me, almost cringe when I hear cold shower. Don't take them. Maybe you do, and that's great. But there was a study published this year, 2025, that found that roughly 12 hours of being immersed in cold water, people's stress levels drop, and their sleep activity quality improves. Now, first of all, I don't understand that, because 12 hours, I would get sleepy. Are they talking about people who are sleeping in the water? Stress level might be pretty high when you first get in the cold water, but it might go down as time goes by. I don't understand that. Cold showers, of course, aren't for everyone, someone like me. They can be risky for anyone with cardiovascular issues, high blood pressure, respiratory problems, or as far as I'm concerned, anybody. Cold showers. I don't know. I know that there's some people that think they're really good for you. I know that. And, but anyway, the most logical thing in this whole story I heard was that they advise you to talk to your doctor before trying this. Okay. I am not interested in taking cold showers. I'm going to find some other way to be healthy. If you want to take them, God bless you. But I'm sure there's more and more research. But I know there's a lot of people that do cold baths and they swear by that it makes them recover better. I mean, professional athletes do cold baths. I mean, I don't know. I'm not interested. Okay, so the next story is, so they do a vote about, and the winners are in actually, about Crayola collars. And this year they did something on each generation. Okay, so like, when we were kids, I'm going to guess everybody agrees that when you were kids, one of the first things people ask us was a simple question, really. What's your favorite color? What's your favorite color? And it's a simple question, and yet the answer goes on for years and years. So you got to be careful as a child how you answer this, because once you say, green's my favorite color, then chances are you're going to start, getting all kinds of green themed gifts. Everything's going to be green. You're going to have green at your birthday party. Everything's going to be green. So to the point where it may not be your favorite color because you may have too much of it. But that's what happens. So what Crayola did is they asked one simple question. Really simple. This is a really simple survey. What's your favorite Crayola color? I didn't ask you what your favorite color was. I asked you what your favorite Crayola color was. Well, there's so many of those that people, got really detailed. So They have 63,000 people in 183 countries, okay, which covered 94% of the nation's world. 63,000 people. Now, what color was won? Do you have an idea? Do you know what you think? Well, in general terms, the winner was blue. Blue was the winner. Now, each group had different shades of blue. I don't know what some of these shades are, but I mean, you know, there were several of them, and but every generation there was a shade of blue in their top three. So it was definitely the winner. Blue was the winner. You know, and you know, there's like, you know, Generation X and Millennials and Z, they had one color shade of blue, and Alpha had, I mean, there's sky blue, there's multiple generations liked robin egg blue, whatever that is. I think it's a medium blue. They list multiple of them list that in their top three. So blue was the winner. Now, I'm a baby boomer, okay, and everybody had as their number one a shade, some shade of blue, be it, you know, sky blue or robin egg blue or some other kind of blue. All of them had that as number one, except baby boomers. Now, baby boomers has long been known for being the greatest generation. That's what I am, of course. And their number one was Purple Heart. Yeah, purple. And it just so happens that number one, I am a baby boomer. And number two, my favorite color is purple. Now, I don't know about Purple Heart, because I don't know exactly what that color is, but it's a purple, so it's probably be my favorite. And it has been my favorite since I was young. And so baby boomers, their top one was purple. Now, why is baby boomers different? Well, first of all, they're an older generation than the other ones, but there's just something special about purple. I don't understand why the younger generations can't see that. I don't know. Again, so I don't know what your favorite color is, but there's a chance it's some shade of blue. But you know, I mean, I was stuck on purple at a young age, and in fact, my favorite NFL team is the Minnesota Vikings. And I picked up sports really young. You know, I was really young when I started watching this stuff. Now, why was the Minnesota Vikings, I mean, they're not around, I'm not local to Minnesota. Why would Minnesota Vikings be my favorite? Does anyone know? The reason is because their color is purple. Being my favorite color, I was attracted to that team. So at a young age, the purple Minnesota Vikings became my favorite team, and they're still my favorite NFL team today. So listen, I hope you've enjoyed this today. It's been a little bit different, as it is every day, because it's new every morning. But I hope you enjoyed it. I'll be back here again at 7 a.m. tomorrow. We may be moving to 7:30 next week. We'll see. You got to be here on Friday to find out. You guys have a great day, a blessed day, and I will see you here tomorrow morning. Bye-bye.